Hey, so this is Patrick Carlin. I wanted to talk a little bit about my final interview project. I actually interviewed one of my great buddies from high school. We became really good friends, I'd say, freshman or sophomore year. And now he's a junior here at UNC as well. And when we kind of began the process of this, discovering what we wanted to talk about within our interview and digital story, I kind of want to do something a little bit different. Maybe something that would catch viewers off guard, but also provide a valuable lesson in the end. And so I thought about Jackson because he kind of began vaping and using nicotine products, I'd say right around the time me and him became good friends. And ever since, he hasn't been able to stop. And so when I interviewed him, I didn't really know what direction I wanted to take the story in. I kind of just wanted to ask him a ton of questions, and I kind of just wanted to see how he put it in his own words and see what direction he wanted to take it in himself. And he was very candid in all of his responses and was very open. And I was really appreciative of that because I think this is a topic that people might not necessarily want to talk about, especially something that's going to be recorded and go on YouTube for people to see. Um, so I was just very proud of him and thankful for him to do this for me. But some of the main points I kind of gathered from his interview was the financial aspect. Like he said, I mentioned a little bit in my final page that he kind of started as a social image thing. So I mean, this stemmed from high school, kind of just wanting to be cool and be like the other people, be the other guys, for instance. So he kind of just bought it as a joke for fun, I guess you could say. And slowly but surely, he started becoming pretty addicted to these vaping devices. And he mentions now within the interview that he's spending upwards of like even like $40 or $50 every couple of weeks. And as a college student who's already not really financially sound, he was admitting that this has been a tough toll on him financially, and that's the main reason he's attempted and wanted to quit. He also understands the health aspects of nicotine use, but has not necessarily had any firsthand encounters to be too discouraged by it. But he is aware of them, of the potential long term consequences, and does plan on quitting, but has not been able to do so yet because of the people he's associated himself with. And like he told me behind the scenes, kind of, he was like, if I see someone else vaping, it makes me want to vape. And just because you don't buy one doesn't mean you're not going to be hitting other people's vapes. And so it's been a real struggle for him, but I truly believe that he will get through this at some point, and I think it's sort of a phase almost in college. So now let's take a look at my interview with Jackson.
Yes, I definitely acknowledge I'm addicted to nicotine. So vaping and nicotine over the past couple of years has definitely had a pretty steep financial toll on my lifestyle. And so, I got one mainly for the social image at first, but little did I know I'd develop a crippling nicotine addiction because of that. I kind of started almost 4 years ago now when I was a junior in high school. Started off small, I guess, how everyone would. I would only spend like maybe $20 a month, but ever since then I've never really quit, and sometimes it's up to $60 to $80 a month just on nicotine alone. So definitely financially, that's the biggest impact it's had on my lifestyle. I would say a large majority of my close circle participates in vaping, and it's never easy to quit when everyone you're surrounded with is doing it too. So yeah, I find myself relying on vaping in certain situations. Schoolwork, I've almost turned myself into using it as an incentive. I'll usually do it like one of the first few things in the morning right when I wake up, and then one of the last things I do before I go to bed. For those kids like 4 years younger than me, if they were in my shoes, like, or if I were back in their shoes right now, knowing what I know, I would definitely just stay away from it completely because it's been 4 years. I never would have thought it would be 4 years later that I'm still using nicotine products.
So yeah, that was a great interview by Jackson. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm very appreciative of him for being so honest in his answers. I know I hate that it was only a 2 minute limit on the interview for our final video, because we spoke for over 25 minutes and he had a lot of great insight and valuable information that I wish could be shared within this video as well. But I think it really hits home at the end of the interview when he believes, or he states, that he never would have thought he'd be using these products 4 years later. And he would tell those kids younger than us in high school now that just to stay away as much as you can, because this has clearly impacted his life, financially, and hopefully not health wise, but he knows that's definitely a possibility down the road. And I think I wanted to grasp kind of a bigger picture about like nicotine statistics and vaping statistics within high school students, because I really believe that's kind of where these problems are stemming. And there's two statistics that really stick out to me: is 1 in 5 high school students admit to regularly using nicotine products on a daily basis. And I'd have to probably guess that number is a little lower than it really is, because I'm assuming that not all students are admitting to their nicotine use in surveys. Also, the final statistic is tobacco and nicotine companies are spending almost $9 billion a year advertising and promoting their products. So, I mean, they're just putting it out in our faces, and I really believe that is not good and is causing a lot of the issues. I had a great time doing this project. I really enjoyed it. Once again, thank you so much to Jackson. He really killed it and made this a lot easier for me. I really hope that younger kids can learn from him and see this interview and maybe say no a couple times and just stay away as much as they can, because this clearly is really impactful in people's lives. Thank you.